Dragon Riders, Kaze no Kaeru, by Night Dragon Zero. Night Slice's perspective. Hazuki, you there? I walked over to where she was sitting beside the fire. We camped at the foot of a small mountain, just at the start of a dirt trail leading up. After pulling ourselves out of that river, we'd basically just kept on running from town to town, but keeping a low profile at the same time. It had worked so far, and we'd had no encounters from Team Rocket lately. Hazuki had been unusually quiet for the past few weeks, but I understood what she was going through. You suddenly find out your parents who weren't who you thought they were, and that you're part Pokemon, part human chimera, and I guess you're pretty much hard struck. I still can't believe they lied to me, she sighed, referring to her parents. They were more than just mechanical engineers. If you look at it from their point, it was probably to protect you, I said, sitting down next to her. Besides, since you've inherited the skill, I think at least one must have been genuinely in the field. Since they were husband and wife, I guess they sort of got into each other's work. I told her several variations of that phrase, but she seemed to enjoy every time I comforted her like that. As I stood up, I felt the ground shake slightly. "Hazuki, move!" I yelled, pulling her away. "What the?" The ground near us burst open. The creature that popped out was another of the legendary dragons. I practically felt it. He was massive and slivery, somewhat like a much longer version of a Dragonair, and also much larger. His dark brown skin was mostly covered with rock-like scales. Rock type, I realized. That would mean he'd be susceptible to water and grass attacks. "Ashura!" I called, seeing all three Pokemon rushing towards us. "Razor Leaf!" The Ivysaur fired, only to have the rock dragon dodge and burrow underground. "Riptide!" I gestured towards the hole, intending for the Golduck to fire a water attack down it. He'd hardly taken 2 steps before the snake-like dragon burst out from the ground beneath him, tossing Riptide into the air. The dragon then used his tail to give Riptide a smack, sending him into a tree unconscious. "He's fast for a rock type," Luminar exclaimed. The dragon reared back its head and sent a bunch of rocks flying. "Scatter!" I ordered, shifting to my Scyther form as I ran. Hazuki let out Kyle, who sent an ice beam towards the dragon. Once again, the dragon burrowed and re-emerged to attack, wrapping his long body around the Lapras. "Yeah, hey, take it easy!" Kyle gasped. "I'm not a melon!" "Luminar, we'll dual-tech him!" I declared, leaping up and preparing for a sky attack. "Here we go!" I saw the flash as the reflect technique was applied on me. "Counter rockets!" Readying my wings, I descended. The dragon turned and attacked with his rock slide, which bounced off my barrier. I smacked the side of his face with my wings, sending him toppling over and letting go of Kyle. I rolled away as he hit the ground with his tail, rocking the area with his earthquake. Charging my powers, I used my disintegration skill. It was similar to the feint attacks flash in, flash out, and I rushed by, slashing at his body. I held my pose there with my claws outstretched, and he collapsed with some of his rock-like scales flying off. "Ow! Nice of you to use Isui's ability on me," he moaned. "Don't mention it," I laughed. "Anyway, my name is Jizem, the Rock Dragon." "Yeah, you got the looks to match it," Hazuki said, walking over and brushing aside. "Wow, this scale looks like a star." "Hazuki," I began. "Can I have it, Gaizum-san? Please?" "What do I look like? A gift shop?" "Please?" Hazuki gave him a teary-eyed look. "Oh, all right, since you're so cute. But you have to give me a kiss first." "Excuse me, don't you have a forbidden skill to give me?" I interrupted, annoyed. "Ah, yes, receive this, Stone Prison. An amalgam of Rock Slide and Whirlwind. A rock elemental move that swirls up rocks like a tornado-like attack, used to form a cage of stone around the target." I gasped, letting the energy flow into my body. "I'm getting close to completing the set of 8, I noted. "What happens if I do?" "That choice is yours to make," Gaizum replied. "I'm sure you'll know it when the time comes to pass. It may even awaken Kaiser himself." "But what if I do? His spirit is within me." "Part of it at least," Gaizum said. "However, we are no longer bound to him or the holy dragon Harasalt." "What will happen to you and the other dragons if the gods should awake to battle again?" I asked. "Or something to that extent." "We shall see. After all, the future holds many possibilities, doesn't it?" "Yes, but you, haha, we're the legends long forgotten by time," he laughed. "However, yours is still being written, right now even. Follow the path of your heart, is what Grix would say." I nodded, backing away. The dragons were providing a background role, passing on their techniques, but not directly interfering. I felt that they wouldn't be fighting for the fate of the world anytime soon. "Oh," Hazuki waved. About that kiss. She walked up to Kaze and actually kissed him on the cheek. The rest of us were giving them odd stares. Wow, I've never really been... Never mind. Here, kid, you can take one. Thanks, Hazuki grinned, pulling the rock-hard scale off his belly area. Well, I must be going now, Kaze said. Farewell, then. With that, he burrowed into the ground and disappeared. Ow! Damn, I got my tail kicked by a rock type, Riptide groaned, unhappy about the battle. You win some, you lose some, I say, Kyle replied. By the way, where were we headed again? Ashura asked. Seeker Town, I replied, shifting back to human form. It's somewhere northwest of Palatown, along the Johto-Kanto border. We should be about 4 days' walk away, since we have to get over the mountain pass. Looks so much like those stars on the Christmas tree, Hazuki muttered, fingering the scale. It'll be my first Christmas away from home. Christmas? Oh man, it's 5 days away, isn't it? I gasped. I'm sorry, I've been so caught up in my own... No, don't worry, I understand. Well, we'll arrive on Christmas Eve, I calculated. I'm sure you'd like to go around the town for a bit. Really? You're the best, Yukiro-san! She smiled, giving me a hug. The ground stirred and Gaisem's head popped up, startling both of us. Whoops, sorry to interrupt folks, but I'd just like to let you know that deep underground, an old temple lies several miles away from the human settlement nearby. It holds one of our darker warriors. It's dangerous, but I suppose you'll have to go there eventually. Thanks for the tip, I nodded. Any other info? But sure to know thy partner. Huh? You'll understand in good time, the rock dragon replied. And Hazuki? Yes? If you give me another kiss, I'll let you take a couple more scales, he winked. 2 for the price of 1, what do you say? I'll give you more discounts for more kisses. Hazuki's face went red. She raised her foot and stomped his head back into the ground. The stunned dragon could do nothing but let out a muffled cry. Firestorm's perspective. Yeah! I jumped away from the rollout attack of the legendary dragon known as Jinte. This dragon was rather like a large lizard with a dorsal fin down her back, short and slithery legs. She had darker brown skin and fierce eyes to match those, which were now glaring at us. Dracia threw a thunderbolt at her, only to stare in shock as the dragon simply shook off the attack like it had been nothing. Ground type! Agwal realized. As if on cue, Jinte dug a hole and burrowed underground. She swiftly emerged, using her dig attack right between Mirage and Serac, that sent both the Ponyta and Vaporeon flying. The terrain was pretty much to her advantage too, a dirt road between the sides of the 2 mountains with nothing around in front, but a lake behind us! The idea hit me, but I realized it would also be a dangerous one. Hey, over here! I yelled, throwing a fireball to get her attention. Yeah! Spreading my arms, I channeled my inner powers and felt the changes begin. My human skin changing to the rougher scales, my claws and fangs that shot out with switching sounds, the wings and the tail that emerged. I was a Charizard once more, but I couldn't hold it for too long, not without getting Jade back first, so I had to make good use of it. I fired my flamethrower, setting up a wall of fire in front of me, but also backing off towards the lake. The ground dragon did exactly as I expected. She burrowed under the firewall and attempted to emerge and surprise me from beneath. I jumped away and took a few steps back, sending a fireball at her. It hit her in the face, enraging her. She came in another rollout, but this time I held my ground. I timed my attack as accurately as I could, and stepped to the side, grasping onto her as she got near. What I caught was her fin, which at her motion of spinning cut deeply into my hands. Ignoring the pain, I pulled back, sending both of us into the water. Now in the water, all Charizard and similar pre-evolutions have to worry about their flame tail. While unconsciously the flame represents our physical condition, we can inherently and temporarily dim our flame tails in water, whether completely or just so that there's a little left. Of course, doing this for a greatly extended period of time can be fatal. Chris had given me quite a bit of special training, so I was able to hold off my tail flame for longer periods of time. I'd really hated it, but she said it was to make up for our main weakness. Still, way back when we'd escaped the sunken boat, I'd probably make a Charmeleon, which I was then, swimming record. While I wasn't too keen on trying to make the first swimming Charizard record too, the thought just hit me as we sank down underwater, wrestling vigorously. A ground type wouldn't like water much more than me, and it was turning into a competition of seeing which of us could hold out against our weakness the longest. I imagined the others yelling like crazy back on the surface. I was on the upper limits of my endurance when I finally felt her struggling slowing down. With a final burst of strength, I shoved her up and launched myself up after her. We ended up on the riverbank, coughing, spluttering, and throwing up water. Jeez, what did you do, Storm? Swallow the whole lake? Dracia asked, beating on my back as I coughed. Whew, you just reminded me how much I hate water, Jintei panted. Like, back that time, I was about to dissect Kiwi and Isui came up to his rescue by spraying me all over. Wartime memories? Agwal asked, walking over. This sacred skill had better be worth the trouble, I gasped, reverting back to human form. You won't be disappointed. Here, receive X-Strike, a dual ability involving flamethrower and quick attack. One of your allies must charge your claws with flamethrower, allowing you to perform a fire-based strike. We have auras and dual techs. What's next, triple techs? You'd be surprised, Jintei grinned. See you around. Hey, wait! I was gonna ask for your phone number. Ugh! Dracia smacked me on the head. I mean, let's go back to doing before that bitch interrupted us and head on to Violet City. That was when the area shook and several boulders fell, blocking up the pathway that led between the mountains. Jintei had apparently heard me and wasn't too happy about it. And it so happened that it was the way we needed to go. Jeez, girls are truly evil, I said aloud. That was when I remembered that every Pokemon we currently had was female, and they were all giving me nasty stares. Hey, it was just a joke, I nervously giggled. You know? Haha. Get him, ladies! Dracia ordered. Oh, ow, 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 ow!